Welcome back, everyone. Time to do a little bit of, I guess, a comparison, if you will, against One UI 2 or One UI 3, which is on the right, and iOS 14. Now, I'll go ahead and do a speed test and all that good stuff, but I will tell you, in my experience from both of these softwares, I've been using both of them for a while. One UI 3 is obviously the newer one. I can tell you that in my experience, One UI 3 has more features built in than iOS 14, but iOS 14 is still the smoother phone between both of these, or the smoother software. And what I mean by that is that if you're going to use an iPhone, basically iPhone 12, iPhone 11, whatever the case is, iOS 14 is going to be giving you a much smoother experience day to day. You're going to get smoother, opening speeds, smoother closing speeds, and going through the whole entire OS, you're going to be getting a smoother experience overall on an iOS 14 device than a One UI 3 device comparable. So, comparing iPhone 12s against Galaxy S20, iPhone 11s to Galaxy S10, so on and so forth, you're going to be getting a smoother experience on the iPhone 12 side, you're going to be getting a smoother experience on the iOS 14 side. But on the flip side of that, on a device with One UI 3, from my experience, you're going to be getting still a super fast phone, a super fast device. But on top of that, you're going to be getting a phone full of so many features and way more features than iOS 14. And what I mean by that are things like double tap to wake. A simple thing like that still is not, we don't have that capability on iOS 14, which is so annoying. Other things like, adding widgets straight from the page itself. So right here, you can just add the widgets. You can even, still kind of force touch into an app. Not really. You still have the ability within One UI 3 of just installing your own apps and APK files, which is still really impressive. And another thing that I really do love within One UI 3 is just the ability of seeing how long it actually takes you to install an update. So once you go ahead and install an update, and this is for really any Android device, you can go ahead and see how long it's actually going to install. And I very rarely have had, install problems on a One UI 3 device and any Android device. On iOS, I have those problems all the time. Now, you still have things, that you can go ahead, add widgets still and all that good stuff. But I will tell you, I am kind of jealous about all the features that One UI 3 brings, and even One UI 2.5 brought. If you look into the camera app, and this is just a very, very, minuscule example, if you will, but look at how many features and just how much more you're getting, even just straight from this little option. Now the iPhone side doesn't really have a settings panel built into the app, but if we go and hop out and we go into the camera app, which is like right here, and if we click on the settings right here, you'll basically be able to see that, in my opinion, you do have more features pretty much built in to something like an One UI 3 camera. And even since One UI 2.5, you have much more capability and just way more features built into this, specific phone than on this phone. And I think that's a mildly pretty important thing to keep in mind. Camera quality also might be better on, the Galaxy S20, but that's different. Software-wise, you're getting, I think, way more features, like I said before, built into One UI 3 than on, iOS 14. Now, battery life is a little bit different because I haven't, if I compare these two together, the iPhone 12 and the S20, I would probably find that the S20 has better battery life, and I've already done a battery comparison between these on One UI 2.5 and iOS 14, and I saw that the iPhone 12 just couldn't keep up with the Galaxy S20. I will tell you, software with the battery, I mean, there's way more bloat going on with something like a One UI 3 device, so keep that in mind. So I'll go ahead and do a little bit of a speed test between these two devices. Now, these are the best devices that I do with iOS 14 and One UI 3. We have the S20, we have the iPhone 12. Now, I won't do a RAM management test, so you'll still be able to get the A14 Bionic and, kind of look at the 12 Pro Max and all that, good stuff, because they're the same speed. It's just RAM management's a little bit better on those phones, but I won't test that in this case. So let's go and see which one is the smoother and faster operating system. Okay, I had to kind of maneuver around so this light wouldn't hit right on the screen. So let's go and clear out all the apps in the background, and it should only take a second. Okay, they're all cleared out. Now, I'll kind of open up some apps. Let's do the Play Stores, 3, 2, 1. And I just want you to notice the smoothness. Right there, the smoothness factor was actually there pretty much for the One UI 3 device as well, and it opened it up faster. Now, scrolling through, I want you to just take note about the scrolling speeds. I do have 120 Hz enabled here. In my opinion, it does kind of look like that the One UI 3 device seems to be stuttering just a little bit more. Now, if I go just a little bit faster, it actually looks faster the more you smooth out. But I don't know, it just kind of seems like, in my opinion, the stutteriness is kind of there for both of them actually when I was scrolling through. And this is a random test. I didn't even know I was going to see this big of a difference. And I actually think the stuttering is more right now on iOS 14. So maybe that wasn't a good example. Hopping out, you can kind of see again the same kind of thing going on. And when you hop out and going to the multitasking, this is pretty much what they look like. Pretty much the same exact thing going on. Let's go and do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. Very, very basic app. You're not going to see a difference. Messages, same thing going on. Not a big difference. And camera, 3, 2, 1, which I already opened up. And again, pretty much the same exact thing. Now, you don't really notice crazy differences until you start going into these bigger apps. And what I mean by that is, let me go ahead and go into Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. Now, look at just, I think in my opinion, from what I saw right there was a little bit of a glitch going on with One UI 3, specifically between these two devices. Now, speed-wise, I don't even know which one got into it faster because this one did have a pop-up, but I want you to look at this other app that I'm going to test, okay? Let me go and load up Real Racing 3, which is a pretty big game. 3, 2, 1. Look at it again. In my opinion, it does look like the One UI 3 device kind of opens up and then it just kind of glitches up a little bit. And in this case, it is opening up smoother than what I saw with One UI 2, so it's still an improvement. And I won't even care about the app opening test in this specific app, but I want you to just kind of realize that when you're opening up these apps, there does seem to be a little bit of a delay going on with the One UI 3 devices still. So in this case, the S20 may have actually been faster, who knows? But that is one thing that I've been seeing. Netflix 3, 2, 1. And actually, it's been getting better. And I actually think it's been a pretty smooth experience overall right now. And if I go and get into the multitasking panel, go and swipe through, you can see they actually have done a better job at smoothing it out. And that was one of my biggest complaints with One UI 2. And they actually have done a way better job. Let's go and do Tempo Run 2. 3, 2, 1. And I don't know, I still think with iOS it does do a better job at, overall just opening up the app and bringing it to the screen. And for one, I think they both actually opened up about the same. Maybe the iPhone 12 was a little bit faster there, but they both were extremely close to one another. Let's get into some gameplay. And I think gameplay-wise, the Galaxy S20 or the, in this case, I guess One UI 3, but the S20 is definitely going to be doing a far better job, I think, in the performance standpoint than the iPhone 12 Pro right now, or the iPhone 12. Let's do Snake versus Blocks, 3, 2, 1. And again, another example where even though it may be opening up a little bit smoother, the little, opening in an animation, just, I don't know, there's something weird about it. Let's go and do Stack, 3, 2, 1. And again, there was another case where a little glitched up, but it's okay. And it did get into the ad faster on the Galaxy S20, aka One UI 3. Let's go and do Facebook, 3, 2, 1. And maybe the iPhone 12 was a little bit faster there. Let's go and do Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. And yeah, probably the S20 was faster there. So in terms of the overall, smoothness factor and everything, I think I would still probably give it to iOS. But a huge thing I want to note is that going from One UI 2 to One UI 3 was a big improvement in the smoothness factor from what I've seen and from my tests. One UI 2 wasn't amazingly horrible or wasn't completely horrible, but there was a huge, there was just a big problem with the stutteriness and just, it wasn't buttery smooth. One UI 3 has taken a humongous leap in the performance standpoint when it comes down to the smoothness. It's still, I don't think, as smooth and consistent as something like iOS 14, but I still think One UI 3 has done an amazing improvement when it comes down to the whole entire stability and the smoothness factor between these two devices. So that really pretty much covers it up for the most part. If you guys have any other questions or have any other concerns or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.